Hello, my handsome friends of the internet. It is time to watch some Dota. Now, finally, this whole Bloom Festival crap has blown over, and now we have team games back again. It was nearly impossible to find a game to catch for the last couple weeks because every time I hopped on the team matchmaking, it just popped up with a bunch of automated bot games where people were basically just farming the farming ingots so that they could get the year beast and get more items. So complete abuse of the system, and the team games were just a mess for a couple weeks. And I mean, I could have weeded through them, but the amount of work it took to find one game that was actually legitimate was just absolutely brutal. So I kind of foregoed. I did not do it for a few days. I skipped a couple days of uploads and did some other content on the side. I did my Drafting for Dummies video, which you should definitely check out if you're a mid to low tier player who wants to learn to draft or wants to understand the process of creating a team and a draft in general. But either way, we've got content tonight, and we're up for this random game pulled off the servers between, I think that's Evil Guild versus Moscow 5, and the captain of Evil Guild shouting Moscow 5 right off the bat. Now, I'm not sure if this is the Moscow 5. I wonder. Let's check the profiles. This guy's level 4. Maybe not the Moscow 5.
Team Ben.
Yeah, there's no way for me to check now. But that guy was like level 4, so not sure. But
Radiant Team
yeah,
Ben.
we're looking at Evil Guild, Moscow 5. Now, I'm actually pretty unfamiliar with the actual Moscow 5, because I remember they popped up for a little bit. They did a couple tournaments, and then they just fell off the face of the planet. And I know there's still a strong League of Legends team, but I cannot tell for the life of me if they still have a Dota squad or if they're coming out with a Dota squad or whatever. I'm actually kind of tempted to check out the the Liquipedia on that. Either way, getting into this game, lots of quick pickups coming out. Oopsies! Oh my god! Okay, there we go. I had my shit on my primary monitor. Moscow 5 Dota. Let's see. Anyways, like I said, first couple picks flying out in a flurry here. We got Doombringer, Nyx Assassin, Timbersaw, and Lich being banned out right off the bat, and then Ancient Apparition, Pugna, Nature's Prophet, and Visage all popping up right after that. So Evil Guild looking to go for a little bit more of a push-oriented strategy, a little bit more alliance-style play, whereas Moscow 5 is probably going to be looking for a lot more burst damage, maybe a magic damage tri-lane, something along the lines of a Shadow Demon, Ancient Apparition, Pugna would work really, really well.
10 seconds remaining.
Alright, so let's see, what's going on with Moscow 5?
5
Moscow
seconds
5's
remaining.
Dota division was formed in May 2011 with XDTS players sponsoring them to
Reserve the
OSPL Spring 2011, which they won,
Dire
blah,
Team
blah.
Ben.
After
Dire
poor
Team
performance in SLTV in October 2012, the team disbanded. So, yeah, they are no more. Yeah, okay. Oh, that's what I thought. Okay, yeah, PGG, Silence, Vigos, I used to play for them.
Radiant Team
Yeah, so this is definitely not the Moscow 5. They're just some guys who stole the Moscow 5 name. So, interesting. Anyways, getting back to the draft here, I'm getting a little distracted with this. Weaver, Juggernaut, Slark, and OD all banned out in the second phase there, and then Viper and Windranger picked up right off the bat there. So, it's a little interesting. I'm still not sure about the Viper pickup, man. Like, I see it a lot more now, where Viper is just picked up regardless of his lane counter, and generally, when you pick the Viper, you're picking him to shut somebody down, whether that be a Dragon Knight or a OD or anything along those lines. But people are just like more and more just picking it up in general because he's a really easy hero for somebody to play. He's really strong. Jeez, I gotta get rid of Steam notifications. Don't want to see those while I'm casting. Thank you very much. Please go away. Please go away. No,
10 seconds remaining.
Fuck off. Actually.
5 seconds remaining.
Actually. Whatever, fuck it. Fuck it! I was just gonna put myself offline, but I guess turning off all notifications works as well. Anyways, back to the draft. Disruptor picked up by Moscow 5, so like I said, a lot of magic damage on their team. I mean, Viper dishes out a decent amount of physical, but a lot of his spells end up being magical in it. Oh, like the poisons are all magical, which accounts for a good chunk of his damage. So definitely definitely going to be looking to pick up a pipe, regardless of the 5th pickup here for Evil Guild. Hopefully they should. I mean, that would be really smart in general. Now, Wind Ranger snatched up by them. Curious about their lanes. I think Wind Ranger...
Dire team ban.
Okay, so this is interesting. With Evil Guild's draft, they could either go with the Wind Ranger off lane and the Nature's Prophet in the jungle, while Visage and Spectre duo lane together. Now, Spectre's usually a hero that requires a lot of lane support, so Wind Ranger and Visage may be better off just sitting in the lane, which would mean that Nature's Prophet will be going to the off lane. So it'll depend on what they're looking at. Either way, I think they are missing a mid hero here, so that is what is banned out by Moscow 5. They get rid of the Zeus, and yeah, they got Darkseer banned out on the side of Evil Guild, so not wanting to deal with that. Fearing the offlaner.
Remaining.
And I would too. I believe Pugna Disruptor Ancient Apparition is going to be the tri-lane. Viper could actually go in that tri-lane. Might work out a little better, but I think I like Pugna better. It's just a lot of burst damage that goes really well with that team, and Decrepify will feed really well into everything Ancient Apparition has, as well as Stormbolt, even though that's not a... is that ability called Stormbolt? Thunderstrike. I don't know where I got Stormbolt. Thunderstrike. Thunderstrike will dish out a little bit more damage with that on him. Anyways, burning out that reserve time here, looking for that 5th pick. Going to just take their time, make sure they know what they're getting themselves into here. As we just wait to see what that last little bit is. Should know in just a momento here. Or maybe not. Maybe they'll just take their time. Like I said, looking for an offlaner. There's still Mirana in the pool. Slark's been taken out. What else do we got? I think they need physical damage, so actually Weaver, they banned out Weaver themselves, so that's not available to them. Offlane Gyro would actually work pretty decently with this team composition. They got a lot of AoE, they've got the Disruptor to hold people in place while you get the call down off. I think that would actually work pretty decently for them. Who else could you do? Admiral Kunkka. Alright. I don't mind that pickup whatsoever. Now, it does beg the question about what they will be running their lanes like, though, because Kunkka works really well with Disruptor and Ancient Apparition on that tri-lane. They got a lot of synergy between the two of them because, I mean, you can just X marks the spot and glimpse somebody to keep them in range of Cold Feet, make sure they take that Cold Feet no matter what, and then you've got Torrent and Thunderstrike and Wall and whatever you want after that to follow up on it. So I think Kunkka may go to the tri-lane and Viper would go to the off, which would put Pug to mid. It's also a possibility, but the way things were looking before, I think they were going to go something a little more off the charts with that Pugna down on the safe lane. That's probably not going to happen now. Evil Guild grabs himself a Tinker, so waiting to see what their lane setup will be like. I have a feeling Wind Ranger and Visage will be playing on strict support roles with Nature's Prophet on the off lane, but once again, that can always change. Wind Ranger going to the off lane will Prophet jungles. We'll have to see what the call is by Evil Guild, but we'll see that in just a moment once we get into this game. Now, the one thing that I like about Evil Guild's draft as well is the fact that they've got the Tinker for the Radiant side. Now, Radiant Tinker is a lot stronger than Dire Tinker, simply for the fact that that every minute you can walk up this cliff, you can pull the creep camp down into the river, and while he's doing that, he checks the rune at the exact same time. So he basically just stacks himself free gold while getting spot on for every single rune. I mean, he can get unlucky and it'll be bottom, but for the most part, there's a good chance that he will end up grabbing himself a rune there. So Tinker just has that advantage on mid, which means that he's going to be able to stack up his ancient camps and get himself some those big ticket items right off the bat, like the Boots of Travel, the Soul Ring. Well, Soul Ring not really a big ticket item, but it's big for Tinker. He needs it. So either way, See how the lanes are shaping up here. Looks like Visage and Spectre are going down to the bottom lane by themselves. Prophet is sitting in base spamming out Treants, and this looks like... Actually, I was about to say this looks like a jungle build, but with all the tangos and salves, I don't think it is. I think that's actually going to be a lane. Now, Windranger, she has bought wards and only has a couple branches to her name, so I think she's definitely going to be played on the support role. So we'll see an offlane Treant, or an offlane Prophet. You're going to see Windranger and Visage supporting the Spectre, and then the Tinker will be heading to the mid lane. Now, on the enemy side, for Moscow 5, the cheap rip-off Moscow 5, looks like Pugna and Ancient Apparition just hanging out on the bottom lane. Kunka's mid. Disrupt... Oh! Okay, cool. I actually really like this. So, what they're going to do is they're going to put the Viper on the solo safe lane. Now, Disruptor looks like he's heading up here, but I think it's just to place a ward. Whoa! How do you get colored text? What the fuck? Hacks? I want to know how to do that. Anyways, so yeah, Disruptor looks like he's heading top, but I think he'll come back right back down. We're going to have an aggressive tri-lane between Disruptor, Pugna, and Ancient Apparition. Now, I think I really do like this because the kinetic field and the Decrepify will slow and keep somebody in place long enough for Cold Feet to latch. And when Cold Feet latches, and then you get Ice Vortex underneath it with a Nether Blast, etc., you start dishing out a fuck ton of damage. And these three supports, not incredible damage dealers on their own. Well, I mean, Pugna does a lot of damage, but these two supports, rather, are don't do a ton of damage on their own. Ancient Apparition does a decent amount, but it's hard to get it to get Cold Feet to latch, and it's hard to get all of your attacks off with Chilling Touch. But I think the way they've set up this lane, they are setting themselves up for success. So I'm really interested to see how this plays out. I think it's going to be magnificent for them. Now, up against the Spectre, obviously she's not a very good tri-lane versus tri-lane hero. She lacks in damage. She benefits from having targets, solo, and her only real the only thing she's really got going for is the fact that she can throw spectral daggers into trees and run the hell away, which is not something you want to be relying on. So now we've got an aggressive tri-lane up against a Spectre, Visage, and Windranger. Now I think they'll be okay because Visage and Windranger are pretty good, but if Spectre dies once or twice in this lane, she's going to have a bad game. Now anyways, they try to get the kinetic field of Cold Feet, but it doesn't happen. The wall just doesn't go up in time, and Cold Feet does not latch. Now a decent shackle to the trees there, but it's not going to last for very long. Windranger takes a couple pokes, and that's going to be it. Visage did drop pretty low and all that, ate a couple auto attacks and whatnot when they were focusing on the Spectre, but that's about it. So we'll have to keep an eye on this lane. I do have a feeling that Moscow 5 does have the advantage in this lane, but once again, I mean, if Visage gets a good soul assumption off and Windranger lands a good shackle, a power shot, then I think we could see this turn back around. Now let's check out the other lanes. We got Viper up against Nature's Prophet. This lane should trade pretty evenly. I think if Prophet runs out of mana and gets caught out a little bit, he could be in trouble. Anyways, alright, yeah, I can't keep my eyes off this bottom lane. Going to be intense. Anyways, mid for a second, we've got Kunka versus Tinker. Now I think that is a winning proposition for Tinker as long as he can get his bottle up. I mean, he's going to be eating Tidebringer charges all game long, and he actually ate a torrent there. We see him dropping really low, but the laser goes out onto Kunka. And he turns around, gets the splash when the laser wears off, and gets first blood. That was beautiful. Very well played there. He recognized the Tidebringer, turned around, popped that on a creep, and did manage to get himself a kill. Now Grave Chill goes out on the Ancient Apparition. They're looking to get him. That shackle does latch, and we don't have Soul Assumption by the Visage. They can't manage to pick. They do manage to pick it off. Sorry, Nature's Prophet actually TP'd in. I didn't catch him on the top of the screen there. Now Disruptor turns around, tries to glimpse him back, but he's been here for too damn long. Pugna, the only person left standing in this lane. Actually, Ancient Apparition respawns and comes back in, throws out the Cold Feet onto the Spectre, trying to make something happen, but is not. Shack shot only going to latch for a second, but Pugna dropping really low. Ancient Apparition looking for that Windranger, going to see if he can find her. Does manage to get that kill, but now he is stuck here with 3 heroes. Disruptor coming down, getting off the kinetic field, and actually blocking off the Nature's Prophet, who might fall here. He's trying to fight this up, but he is going to have Cold Feet latch on him, and oh my, is he going to... there is no Soul Assumption. He's going to get away from that. Disruptor saves him. We have 3-3, so 2 kills traded on this bottom lane, and wow. That was a really odd team fight in very many regards, but we've got The Ancient Apparition and the Disruptor both reviving from their deaths, TPing back in, and making something happen in that fight. Now, let's take a look at the last hits and denies, as we do have a little teeny weeny bit of downtime here. 15 and 7 on the Viper, so he's up on that top solo lane just doing damn fine. Tinker and Kunkka are even at 10 apiece. Tinker's got himself 3 denies though, so he's doing a little bit better. Down to the bottom lane, Spectre's got herself 7 last hits, so not doing as bad off as I expected. Pugna, 5 and 2, and then 3 and 2 on the Nature's Prophet, and the rest are supports and don't really matter. This is interesting as well, because Tinker did choose to go for what might end up being a 4-4-0-0 build. He could also level rearm or march in a couple levels, but for now it looks like he's just going straight up rockets and laser, which is incredibly. I think that's a terrible decision on his part right here. The reason I believe it's a terrible decision is because, like I said, you have that advantage of being on the Radiant side. You can stack this Ancient Camp as many times as you want for yourself, and regardless of how poorly you're doing in your lane, you can walk up there and march the machines, get yourself some gold and some experience. Now, of course, I mean, if the enemy team's smart, they can ward it, they can chase you down, but for the most part, if you do it intelligently, if you stay away from them, you can stack those Ancients up as much as you want. As well, you're up against a melee hero, so he needs to get near the creep wave to be able to do anything in this lane. So if you throw out that March of Machines, he either misses last hits or he misses a ton of damage. Now we do have a gank coming in here on the mid lane. They do get the trees off on him and a shackle shot to follow it up, and with a power shot they will bring down the Kunkka. So they do manage to get that kill. Tinker not really offering much to that fight. He did throw a laser, but that was all the mana he had, and just auto attacks from there. Wind Ranger grabs that kill. 4-3 is your kill score here in the favor of Evil Guild. Now, as I said, you got a melee hero who has to get near the creeps. March the Machines is the way to go. I fully believe that. Tinker should 100% have gone March the Machines first. You can push, you can get Ancients. He's going to be missing out on a lot of gold for a long time unless he manages to pick himself up a lot of kills. But I don't see that happening quite yet. I mean, he might get lucky in the next couple minutes here, but it just seems like a dangerous proposition to me. Now, we do have Nature's Prophet teleporting in on the bottom lane, but he gets cold feedered instantly and glimpsed back. He actually does get popped back to top lane, so he's going to be out of that fight for now. The Soul Assumption going to fly out, do a little bit of damage to Pugna, but I think he's going to live. Maybe. They do get the Disruptor wall up, and they are going to pop Visage. Yeah, they do get him. Dropped really low as the Disruptor power shot catches him, but is not enough damage. Pugna trying to make something of this, and Wind Ranger actually dropping dangerously low. One more auto attack from the Ancient Apparition will get that kill. So M5 turns it right back around, gets themselves a score of 5-4 right now, and they're doing a little bit better. Now, looks like the Wind Ranger has disconnected, and this is going to be reconnecting in just a moment here. Now, there is a regen rune that spawned bottom, and it looks like Tinker could probably use that. He is sitting really poorly off. However, all he knows is that there is not a rune top. He does not know that it has not been taken bottom. He doesn't know that it's... he doesn't know what it is, so... especially with how hard his lane is pressed here, he's going to be hard-pressed to be able to get away. Now, Kunkka is right up in his shit. He's got himself a point, and X marks the spot, so if he does manage to land a good torrent and an X, maybe even a boat, Tinker is gonna die here. This is something we should watch out for. I'm sure he's gauging his options right now as we wait for this pause to resume. He's only got a couple creeps though, and once these two melee creeps die, if he is right-clicking on Tinker, this tower will turn around and attack him. Now, if he's smart and he clicks on the ground, the tower will default to attacking these two creeps right here. However, that is, you know, if you get right up in his face and you got to attack him, and then you got the tower on your ass. So, Tinker doesn't have enough mana for laser, which means that there's going to be no misses. There's going to be, you know, nothing to save him really. If Kunkka can land his abilities, he gets the kill. That's just how it is. On the top lane, let's see how this lane's going. Viper's still sitting on the top of the CS board with 30 and 10, so really taking off on that. Does he have anything on the courier? No, he's just got boots, ring of health, and alright. I guess it is pretty early. I'm trying to gauge how much gold he has, but either way, the Prophet not doing too well for himself. He has ganked a couple times, which is netted him a little bit of extra gold, But, you know, he's just not farming up on this lane, really. He's got half the CS of the Viper, and, oof. Yeah, the Torrent flies out, does miss. Tinker gets his bottle back and bottles up as quickly as he can. But Kunkka heading down to pick up that regen rune will have it all to himself. That'll fill up his bottle, and Tinker's going to be a very, very sad man. Sad goblins. Sad thing. He just pops off that regen rune right away. I would have even walked up to the lane and thrown one more torrent, and then done it. I don't know if he had enough mana. Maybe he did. Either way, we'll see. Down in the bottom lane, we've got the Pugna teleporting back in. Looks like they, maybe. They want to make a fight happen. They do get the glimpse back in the wall onto the Spectre. Now the Cold Feet goes down and attacks. The Cold Feet does latch. Soul Sculpture will pick off the Disruptor on the back lines, but the Nether Blast will finish off Spectre. So Disruptor for Spectre, I will take it any day of the week. However, Ancient Apparition is going to fall in exchange for the Visage. So carries exchange for a support, and then a support exchange for another support. Now Shackle Shot and a couple more auto attacks might finish off Pugna here, but he did have the magic wand, turns around, starts life draining, and Windrange is going to have to run herself away. So Pugna is going to survive for now. H Prophet gank not quite doing what it needed to. Up in the mid lane while all that was going on, Kunkka gets himself a kill. Looks like he threw out the ghost ship and it landed. Gets himself a kill on the Tinker, and this is going to be a very sad Tinker. He's died twice. He's only got a bottle and boots to his name. And he hasn't been stacking Ancients, hasn't gone for that nice and greedy build. No, anyways, so, oh man, scary engagement here. Creeps are going to make the difference, and Visage does drop to the Kunkka. That was so scary. Oh, what a power shot. This Windranger has been on the mark on every single power shot this game. I mean, kudos to her. She's got herself 3 kills, 2 assists, and rightfully so. 7-9 your kill score here. 8 minutes is your game time. And we're looking at Moscow 5, taking a little bit of an early lead. Little teensy-tiny bit. They do have a huge farming advantage on that Viper, though. He is doing really well for himself. And the Tinker is really down in the dumps. He's not going to make a difference in this game for a long time. So I think the advantage does go to Moscow 5 right now, but we'll have to see how it plays out. Windranger does drop on the bottom lane to the Ancient Apparition as she tries to defend her tower. But a couple too many heroes make it difficult for that to happen. They find the Spectre. Oh, man. She runs herself into the trees, and they're looking for her. Maybe they can get a glimpse off if they have some way to get vision, but she's trying to cut herself out now. They know she's there. Throwing the Nether Blast, and it does actually catch her. It looks like the Prophet and the Tinker are going to come in here and try to make something happen. Oh, man! He does actually manage to pick off the Disruptor with all the heavy damage from that laser. So, I mean, as much as I was trashing this build, that laser rocket combo does do a huge amount of damage. So if you get in the presence of an enemy hero, it does definitely mess you up. Now, this Pugna Ward is going to cause problems for Tinker throughout the course of this game. I mean, Rearm is not an inexpensive ability to use, and neither are any of his abilities. He's a pretty expensive hero in general, and oh man, Windranger gets himself caught out there. Another kill going the way of Moscow 5, and yeah. None of his abilities are really cheap, and Nether Ward deals damage based on the amount of mana you spent. Now, Boat flying in underneath these trees, I don't think it's going to land on anybody. Only gives the run buff to Kunkka, and that is it. But I don't think that's going to matter. Looking for Visage, they do manage to finish him off now. Looking to see if they can find the Spectre. She gets glimpsed back, and she is held in place by the kinetic field, even though she had the Spectral Dagger up. Now, she turns around, does manage to get a kill on the Ancient Apparition, but she does fall for herself. So another 2-2 exchange. Nature's Prophet coming in, trying to make it 3, and oh man, he gets torrented. He does manage to finish that kill off. It does get that up on the Kunkka, but he falls in return. So 3-3 now, and it's close. It was close. A couple auto attacks, not going to get the birds. They drop themselves inside the trees there. 11-14, 10 minutes to game time, and looking at a pretty interesting game already. Both teams trading blows pretty evenly, but like I said, Moscow 5 just slowly edging it out. And Tinker still no points in March, and I mean, no real reason to get those points in Rearm, which he did. He doesn't have the mana to sustain more than one usage of all 3 of his abilities, so there really is no point to getting Rearm this early if you don't have Boots of Travel. Now he needs, I don't know, he's trying to get the bots really quick, and I understand that, he's trying to save it up, but I think in this scenario he should have gone for a Soul Ring, because he's going to be missing a lot of mana. Anyways, a full finished mech up on the Pugna now. He's going to be using that to help gank up mid lane. He's running in there, and Ancient Apparition looking to see if he can get anything going. Now they do get the Cold Feet off and into the X marks the spot with with just a huge blast of everything. The Torrent into the Ancient Apparition Ice Blast, and that was all she wrote. Tinker drops on the mid lane, and that put him back a little bit more gold. Now this is probably the most obnoxious thing that can happen when you play Tinker, is that you get within like 500 to 600 gold of your Boots of Travel, and the enemy supports start roaming, and you just never get it. You just die every time you get so close to it. I had one game where this was happening, and like I had like 1,999 gold, and then it hit 2,000. I was like, fuck yeah, I gotta buy him. And right as I was doing that, fumbling it, oh man, big team fight, I'll get back to that. Anyways, Wind Ranger gets caught out. Ancient Apparition throws out the Ice Blast. Vintage does manage to finish him off, but now he's running away. He does drop on the back end. Now looking for Tinker. He's really low and he's running away. Torrent is going to miss. He's going to run up onto that high ground. Try to turn it around. Drops a laser onto the Pugna, but I think he's caught out here. He gets disrupted back, or it gets, thrown back by the Disruptor, and gets caught out. 3 kills for 1 being exchanged in that one, and Moscow 5 taking a firm hold of this game. As I said, as I didn't say, oh yeah, Tinker. Yeah, I had like 2,000 gold, and while I was fumbling in the shop to figure out where the Boots of Travel were, because I didn't know what quick buy was at that time, I think it was like an enemy Ricky or something like that jumped on me and killed me, and I was so fucking upset. I fucking threw my mouse across the room. Just fuck. Like it is definitely frustrating, but this Tinker is definitely not having any luck right now. He's down to 800 gold after he's died a couple times here, and he was at like 1,600. He was really close, but right now this is a useless Tinker. If you don't have Boots to Travel at less than 10 minutes, you are a pretty useless Tinker, and I mean, you gotta stack these Ancients. That is why he is good on the Radiant. That is the only reason, or that is the reason that you pretty much only pick him on the Radiant. I mean, sometimes you can pick him on Dire, but just the layout of this Ancient camp is so fucking perfect for Tinker. It's what you need. Like I said, at 50 seconds, actually like 45 seconds. What? Where's the Dire Courier?
Top tower is under attack.
I don't know,
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Dire Courier get caught up. On the top lane pushing in, they do manage to find themselves a tower here.
Has fallen.
Disruptor getting the last hit on that, so he's got himself a little bit more gold. 12 to 18 your kill score, and 3 tier 1 towers down in the favor of Moscow 5, and Evil Guild only getting that one. Only getting that one up on the top.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Looks like they want to keep pushing, keep putting that pressure on, and I don't blame them whatsoever. They've got a Pugna and a Kunkka, so they're going to clear out waves and beat on towers really hard now. I mean, right now the wave is getting pulled back, but oh! What? That was the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen. Busy trying to fight this up. Great shackle shot there. Latches 2, and the Soul Assumption flies out, dishes out a lot of damage. Ancient Apparition, he's going to fall. Spectre going to clean up the Pugna. And there's going to be 2 for nothing there. So Evil Guild grabbed themselves a couple really good kills, and I think Spectre actually got both of those kills. So that's a lot of gold that she needed very much. Now, oh man, that was such a good shackle. Such a good shackle. Yeah, M5, Moscow 5, they really don't need... Oh my god, Cook is going back into this by himself, throws out the boat, and he gets shackled to a set of trees that Nature's Prophet kindly provided, but he does get finished off. Or the Wind Ranger does get finished off, rather. Sorry. Meanwhile, on the other side of the map, Viper finishes off the Nature's Prophet. Spectre trying to run herself away right now. She's got a negative burn charge on her, but she's not going to... Oh, maybe she's going to drop. Viper Strike is there. She falls 4-4-1, and that is it. Got pressure coming in on this tier 2 tower. The only person left to defend it is Tinker, but he doesn't have Marksman Machines. He doesn't have Boots Travel. He's got nothing now. He is going to finally have enough gold for his Boots Travel here, but got to go all the way back to base to get it. Buys it up right away because he doesn't want to lose gold. And I'm still worried about his position here. I mean, he needed to be this foot pushing force and going for this lane dominating 4-4 build. It's incredibly greedy, and you can't really get away with it. I mean, sure, you can nuke some people down, but if you can't get around the map, if you can't farm up, if you can't even get your Boots Travel, you're in a huge amount of trouble now. Kunkka gets the X marks the spot on the Nature's Prophet, does get the Torrent, now trying to follow it up, negative burn charge, a couple auto attacks, and Nature's Prophet should fall here. Yes, he does. There he goes, so good kill on the Kunkka there. 15 to 23 your kill score, and Moscow 5 hesitating not 1 second turns around, rotates into the mid lane, and is going to start pushing this down as well with that Nether Blast on the Pugna. Finally, it's got rearm, but what else has he got? You got no March. You can't hold towers without March. You can throw rockets all you fucking want, but I mean that's all you're gonna do. Good shackle shot there by the Wind Ranger. Throws out a power shot, gonna nuke Disrupt down to about half his health. He pops off that mech, and everybody will get healed up right away there. It's Wind Ranger, man. MVP, even though our team's feeding pretty hard. Now, they're trying to turn this around. They go onto the Viper, and the Spectre ulti is popped off. They're looking to make this team fight happen. Boat flies in. Only going to catch the Tinker, who doesn't really matter at this point, to be honest. Everybody's so low on the side of Moscow 5. Viper and Pugna dropping really low, but Viper manages to survive that. Gets himself a kill on the Nature's Prophet. Now, Spectre getting chased down by the Ancient Apparition and the Kunkka. A couple more auto attacks. Yep, there it is. Spectre drops. So we're looking at a 2-for-4 exchange. Oh my god, Wind Ranger grabs himself a kill on the Ancient Apparition there. Is this the Ancient Apparition? No, Wind Ranger. Oh, jukes into the trees. Not gonna happen. She falls to another kill by that Kunkka. He gets himself an ultra kill in that, and he's sitting on a pile of gold. 11 kills on this Kunkka right now. And, you know, I'm not going to attribute that at all to luck or any sort of thing. This has been a really good Kunkka player. Landing those X's when he needs to, getting the torrents off. His boats have always been spot on. Like right in that fight, just managed to just nail him right in the middle. This is a really well played Kunkka here, and definitely credit goes to him. In all of that, they still didn't manage to get that tier 2 tower, and this siege creep will put it into deny range, so this can be denied in just a moment here when they do manage to clear these creeps out. But man, I can't get over this tanker, dude. It's just so unfortunate. You gotta go March. There is no other way. You cannot do this build. I mean, if you're absolutely certain that you can dominate your lane, and I mean, Kunkka, it seems like you can, but you can't. Like, no, you just don't go March. You need March. The fact that you can clear like quadruple stacked ancients at 10 minutes into the game is such a huge boost. You get so much gold from it, and then you can do whatever the hell you want. You get so many levels too, so you can get your damage up just as quickly. I mean, you're not lacking in damage by doing that. Now, Roshan is being done here by Moscow 5, and they know what's happening. They're throwing power shots, but there's only really 3 of them here. And Spectre throws the ultimate. It looks like they want to go. And Spectre does jump into the middle of this, right on top of the Viper. Dancing around in the trees now, looking for the Kunkka. The boat's going to fly in. Looks like the Vengeful Spirit the Visage is already down. And Spectre getting turned around on. Coldfeet's going to latch. She's going to get finished off 4-0. And everybody on Moscow 5 within a slight breeze of dying. Now Viper does get picked off as he tries to get himself out, and they do manage to grab themselves a couple of birds there, so... Wait, what?
Dyer's middle tower is
what? I thought these guys were... I'm so confused. What the hell killed Viper? I should be telling you guys that. Anyways, Cook up on the top lane, clearing out that creep wave all on its own. Looks like Roche is going to attempt to be done by these 3 here on it. They might actually manage to get it with that life drain up. They're all... Okay, yeah, with that mech, they've got it for sure. There's a couple more attacks, and I think Pugna will be grabbing himself an Aegis here in just a moment. Yeah, there he goes. So, there we go. Pugna and Aegis, and they're ready to go. No, I think at this point, just go crack tier 3s. There's nothing stopping you. You've got that Kunkka, you've got the Pugna. You can just dish out all the damage. Like, look at that creep wave, just evaporated. One crit from Kunkka, and it was all gone. So just shove right in here, lay out the hurt, and just go for it. I would say that they have no reason not to. The March of the Machines is up. Fuck, where's Tinker? Where did he drop this from? I don't know where Tinker was. And has bought himself a ring of regen, so he's got himself a little bit of extra HP. But I think that's going to be going into a soul ring, which who knows, might not even happen this game. Like this, Tinker, man, Tinker. I feel bad. I feel real bad. Anyways, yeah, I mean, a lot of people are confused as to how to play Tinker, and maybe I should do a guide on that because you know, a lot of streamers or just a lot of people in general, if they want to have fun with Tinker, they will just go for that exact build that you saw right there, and you know, they'll gank a lot, get a ton of kills, and oh man, hopefully he latches on the Wind Ranger. Spectre ulti's in, gonna look for some damage here. Wind Ranger does die. Spectre going to try to run himself away. Now Laser, Rocket's going to fly out from the Tinker. Looking for that Ancient Apparition. They do manage to pick him off. Maybe going to chase on the Pugna. I don't think so, though. He's got the Aegis and he's running himself away. Oh my god. Huge crit from the Cook. He gets himself a double kill and he's just going to run back. No hesitation. He finds himself a Courier. Oh man. Doesn't manage to grab it. That would have been really, really close. But, yeah. Yeah, like I said, Tinker, like, a lot of people you'll see, they will go for that kind of trolly, you know, QW build, primary, and, you know, they gank and they get a lot of kills and they make it work, and you go, oh, sweet, I want to do that, I want to blow people up, but the proper way to play Tinker is to max your Q and your W, your March of the Machines and your Rockets, and then every minute, like I said, you walk up here, and 52 seconds, you pull the Ancients. Oh man. Laser Rockets does manage to finish off Pugna, but he does have that Aegis, and he'll have Life Drain available to him as well. Boat flies in, not going to crash on anybody, but does give the run buff to everybody. Look at them. So tanky. Viper Strike goes out on the Spectre. She's trying to run herself away, but she is so damn slow right now. Trying to finish her off. She does manage to get herself inside the confines of the base. Pugna gets picked off by his Soul Assumption, and now Visage getting beaten down on by the Kunkka. Now, looks like a next person spot will drag Visage back, but Kunkka dropping the birds pretty heavily. He's going to have to try to back himself away from that. Cold Feet does latch on him, but nothing to follow it up. Now Viper Strike goes out on the Tinker. Viper just dishing out all the damage in the world. Ancient Apparition almost falling to the Prophet, but that was it. Soul Assumption flies in. Not going to kill anybody here, and Ice Blast maybe manages to finish off Visage, and it does. That was really close, and these guys all got really low, but they did manage to stick it out, and they are now here. Kunkka getting caught in the middle of 3 heroes here and might actually fall. Yeah, it certainly does. 1,120 gold goes the way of the Spectre, so it goes right onto the right person, and she even manages to jump with her ulti to the Ancient Apparition. Has the gold for a Diffusal Blade up right now. Doesn't look like she's going for that Radiance, though. She's just gone straight for the Vanguard into the Diffusal, which I don't think is a terrible choice considering how bad this game has been for her. But I think yeah, I mean, Spectre is really reliant on her team to make the early game happen for her, more so than other carries. So I mean, Radiance really wasn't an option this game. If she had more room to farm, if she had more room to get gold, it definitely should have been the item of choice. However, it just really wasn't. So she went for whatever she could get in the form of the Diffusal Blade with the Vanguard. So her illusions are a little tankier, and they will burn off the mana, so she's got some decent fighting ability. But straight up head-to-head scenario, she doesn't do a lot of damage. She does 128, which, I mean, compared to the Kunkka, that is half of his damage. That's, like 10 more than Pugna does on his auto attacks. And, I mean, Viper, between Poison Attack and Nether Toxin, he does a lot more than 100 damage per or 100 damage per attack. So I mean, it's just, like I said, you're lacking a lot with this build, and I can't blame her for going this build, but your team's got to make that space so that you can get those items. Spectre is pretty irrelevant compared to the Kunkka or even the Viper right now. Now, glimpse back on the Wind Ranger. Disruptor might be getting himself caught out here. Throws out the silence a little bit too late, and they manage to maneuver themselves out of that. Now Spectre pursuing up onto the Disruptor, trying to make it happen, but Cold Feet goes out on her, and she realizes it's not a good idea. Tries to run herself away, gets to Crep. Nether Blast going to hit her, and she is going to get disrupted back right into a field of kinetics. And there she goes. She does get popped off. Now the Ancient Apparition will die in return as the Soul Assumption flies in. Viper getting caught out by the Visage Birds there. Not able to pursue, but one Kunkka crit's going to finish off that Wind Ranger, and a Viper Strike will ensure Visage's death. So 3 heroes exchange for 1 there, and the exchanges just continue to go in Moscow 5's favor. I mean, they got the split push going now between the Tinker and the Nature's Prophet, However, still only level 1 March, and he doesn't even have a Blink Dagger or anything to get himself into trees and away to safety. So I think once the TP rotations come in, he's going to have a much harder time. It does get popped off in this Prophet. I don't think he's getting out of this. He got decrepit, he got life drained. Yeah, he does fall. And they know Tinker's back here. He does pop the Soul Ring and TP out though, so he's not going to fall. Disruptor finds himself in this room. Gonna do a little bit of scouting. I doubt he'll be able to finish anybody off on his own though.
Middle tower is under attack.
Man, Cooker really far forward. Does get shackled up, and Wind Ranger denies the tower, so she's actually doing really well. I like this Wind Ranger. She's a really good player. Anyways, now looking for that Kunkka. They do get the kinetic field off. It's not going to hold Spectre in place, but she does get disrupted or glimpse back. She's going to cause her to get caught out. Now, another beautiful Shackle Shot going to latch and ensure the kill of the Disruptor. Spectre jumps forward, looking to finish off Kunkka. One more attack! No! Not going to finish him off. Kunkka TP's out and will survive for now. 26 minutes, and you're looking at a 27 to 43 kill score in the favor of Moscow 5. On the bottom lane, Viper opted not to go for a mech this game because the Pugna had gone for it. There's a lot of really good mech carriers on the side of Moscow 5 between the Pugna, the Viper, even the Disruptor or Ancient Apparition. Generally, AA wants to go for something like a Yules, and Disruptor could use like a Force Staff or something along those lines, but, you know, anyways, he does go for the Vanguard instead to give him that additional tankiness that Mechanism usually provides, and has gone for the Aghanims as well. So he's sitting on a lot of damage and a really spammable Viper Strike, which is just completely obnoxious. If you throw a Viper Strike on a support before a fight happens, they end up at 300 health, and they don't know if they should stay or if they should go because a fight's going to break out, and they don't want to be caught back at base, and you know, it can just be ugly. Anyways, whoa, Viper Strike flying up on somebody. Now tries to run away, but does not manage to. I think that was a unlatched Shackle Shot that kept him there. Now Visage does drop on the back end of that. Glimpse back onto the Wind Ranger, gets Yulesed up, and now trying to finish her off. Are they going to manage to? Oh man, huge crit, and there was a good shackle, but she did just get caught out. So she does buy back, and is going to try to make an effort to hold this. But things are looking pretty ugly now with this Kunkka critting for almost 500 damage a hit. It's just huge. And if he gets that out of a Shadow Blade, it's going to be even more. Now, Cold Feet is going to latch on the Wind Ranger. I believe she tries to run herself away within that kinetic field, but it's just not going to happen. She does get caught. A lot of damage getting dished out, but I think she's going to survive unless she gets glimpsed back. Each that person in the middle of all this gets himself caught. He's going to die. The Viper and the AA, 2 people down on the side of Moscow 5. Meanwhile, Kunkka beaten down on the racks. Did manage to get himself a melee and not get a range. Now Tinker jumps in, gets a laser off onto that Disruptor, and oh my god, the Shackle Shot. So good. And Spectre manages to pick up that kill on the Kunkka. So, despite some losses in the form of the Tinker and the Wind Ranger, they do manage to pick themselves up a pretty decent fight now. Grave Chill goes out on the Kunkka and try to make this one happen. And Spectre's really hesitant about getting in here. She does not want to get critted, and rightfully so. She does not have a Spectral Dagger up for another couple moments here, so she won't be able to get over that cliff to help finish him off, but they're definitely looking for it. And I think Kunkka's going to be able to get himself out of that, no problem. Ancient Apparition did buy back for some reason. I'm not sure why. Didn't seem like something he had to do, but either way, look at 2 heroes dead on both sides for now. Let's take a peek at the net worth graphs and just see what we're laying at. Of course, the Kunkka, who's got a huge amount of kills, 18, 5, and 13, sitting right at the top of this graph with 15,000 gold. Viper got about 11,000 in his name. Spectre got 10,000, and just underneath that is the Pugna. Let's take a peek at the gold and EXP graphs. I know it's a little late and things are looking grim, but let's check them out anyways. About 15,000 in the favor of Moscow 5, doing themselves a pretty decent on that front. Now, if we look back at the EXP graphs, about 20,000, and showing a very similar curve as the gold graph, you know. Just a slow and steady decline, and then a couple good fights, and Evil Guides, or, Evil Guild's way jerks it back up a little bit, and then it dives right back down as they crack the base. So, set of racks down, morale down on the Radiant side, I would say, but definitely aren't out of it. They do have the harder farming carry. They've got 2 very good Rat Dota heroes. Oh man, Tinker does get himself picked off here. I mean, once you have that Blink Dagger, you should not die as Tinker. I say that hesitantly, but you shouldn't. I mean, if you're smart about where you TP, you march, you blink, you're gone. And, that's it. So, anyways, Tinker gets himself caught out. And, I mean, between the Nature's Prophet and the Tinker, I think they have the ability to hold on to this game and force it to wait out. But you can see them applying pressure where they need to, making sure that they're smart about their engagements and when they take them. And right now they're pushing in towards the Tier 3 with Nature's Prophet on the top lane and the Tinker out of the fight. So at best for now, this is going to be a 3v5. Prophet will TP in eventually though, which will make it a 4v5. And Tinker has now respawned, so either way, this tower taking a huge chunk of damage, already down by 500, and the Pugna moving up, they're going to be looking for a little more. Now rockets flying out from the Tinker, action coming out on the backside. Now Disruptor drops really low, but he gets off every ability that he needs to, and with a good boat and a couple auto attacks, they're going to finish off the Wind Ranger and the Tinker. Now X marks the spot up on the Spectre. She's going to try to get herself away, but what happened to that X? Oh, maybe that was on a hero that died. Anyways, Visitor going to die on the backline. Disruptor really low, but he's going to manage to survive for that as well. Same with the Ancient Apparition. Both these heroes just playing to their maximum potential and then getting the hell out. Now, Spectre Dagger flying, but, that's not really going to do much right now. Spectre's already upgraded her Diffusal to level 2, just looking for that little bit of extra damage. I think she still had charges on her level 1 too. But anyways, second set of racks going to go down without much question. And GG is called by Evil Guild. Don't want to wait this out, see if they can make it happen. They're just going to let her go there, and even though their Prophet is split pushing, the Pugna comes in to defend that, and GG is called. They are going to let the Ancient fall, and that will be it. Evil Guild, EG falling to Moscow 5. Now, it's a little weird to say that. We are playing on the public servers with, obviously this is not the real Moscow 5. Check the wiki, they disbanded. For a second I thought they were like back in action because I thought I'd heard something about them, but I think I was wrong. But yeah, this is a fake Moscow 5, and the team EG is Evil Guild, not Evil Geniuses. So anyways, it's a really fun game. I had a blast watching this and criticizing this Tinker. I mean, I might have been harsh on him, and I apologize if I harped on it a little too much, but he made a huge crucial mistake, which basically landed his team in a 4v5 for the majority of that game. I mean, Spectre and Wind Ranger and even Visage played really, really, really well, but it just wasn't enough because they didn't have the support when they needed it. There was no rotations for towers. There was no march to hold off pushes. The aggression that came out of that Pugna, the Kunkka, and the rest of the gang was just too much there. So that will be it for now. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed. I'll try to be uploading content a lot more frequently now that team games are back in order. I skipped a few days. Like I like to do daily content, but I skipped a couple days here and there because it was just so hard to find team games to cast, and I was running out of ideas for original, series content. But I've got some more ideas floating around in my head, and now that team games are back up, I can always rely on those for the daily content that I provide you guys with. So definitely, if you enjoyed my cast, check me out on Twitch. It is twitch.tv/Captain Canuck Dota. Check me out. I broadcast the AD2L every Tuesday and Thursday. Now they are both getting both the Tuesday and the Thursday league are getting into their playoffs, which means that there are going to be less games to cast, which means that I may not be active on those nights. But hopefully as Season 3 gets underway and the Invitational gets going for those seasons, it will be a little more frequent. So definitely check that out. You can also follow me on Twitter @CaptainCanuckDota, where I will be posting whenever I upload something, whenever I'm streaming. It's basically the central hub to get all things Captain Canuck. So thanks once again, guys, for watching, and it has been a pleasure casting for you. I will see you guys again next time.